Well, I was born in a place called Teaneck, New Jersey. Eventually we moved to Wilmington, Delaware, where my father was working. And I don't know if we were really a close-knit family, as you might call it today. There were difficult times, not necessarily financially. And I look at my own life, I suppose there were a lot of emotional times. I was the third person or third child to be born. I was the one in the family who could do nothing right. I eventually left home and joined the Holy Cross Brothers. And it was during that time that I had contact with the Franciscans. And I was very impressed by them. I was impressed by their whole fraternity. I was trying to, I think, when I look back upon it, I was trying to find my way. And it was during that year that I made the decision to leave the Holy Cross Brothers. And I joined the Franciscans. I was still working on, or trying to feel that I'd been accepted. I was assigned to this parish in New York City, and I was never introduced to the parish. The pastor never encouraged me. Very few times did I ever hear anything positive. We had been told in January of 14 that we would be withdrawing from that parish. Father Mel from the St. Barbara province asked me, when I had my interview, where I would be interested in going. And I said, well, I'd be interested in going to the Southwest. I got here and got settled in, and I believe it was the following Sunday. They wanted me to be at all the masses. So Sunday came, and he introduced me to the community. I was Franciscan friar from Holy Name Province, and he just introduced me, and I couldn't believe the people applauded. And then he didn't finish, and he said, Father Bill has been assigned here and will be here on a permanent basis. Well, they even applauded again. And I walked away from it feeling like, yeah, a door had been opened in my life that had never been opened before. That's the first time, I think, in my life I really felt total acceptance.
The first time that I came to the Casa and was so impressed was at a retreat. The liturgy at the retreat was so exciting to me that I wanted to know more, and I wanted to be a part of the Casa. So this was another first for me, pulling me in that direction, and it also pulled our children here.
I was first brought here when I was about 14 years old, and in the midst of returning to the Casa over the years, it's always been with a sense of home. I can tell you that when I most recently felt a struggle in ministry, when I was actually let go from a parish that I'd worked for and loved and had a great relationship with, I started to realize that the church is built of human beings, and sometimes things are challenging.
When my father was let go, I had to deal with that. I had this home, I had this community that I was a part of, and all of a sudden it was like it was just snatched away. I could no longer be there. And it was painful. I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know how to deal with that pain. That first Sunday, we didn't know where we were going to go. And at once, it seemed to come to all of us at the same time, we need to go to the Casa, we need to come home. At that first Mass, we experienced the beauty of the music, the readings, the prayers, and that homily that Deacon Herve shared with us, and it had everything to do with forgiveness. And it was the message that we needed to hear. It was the message that spoke right to us as if they had known we were coming, and it was our story.
And so in the midst of my pain and my suffering, I was actually brought to a place of healing.
The door was opened, and eventually I had the opportunity to become the youth minister here. I'm able to open doors for other youth to come and experience the same kind of healing that I went through.
Well, my journey of healing and love actually is a twofold story. The story is not only how I came to the Casa community, but it actually brought me to the Catholic faith. Several years ago, I experienced a life-changing event, which is the loss of a baby. Her name was Hannah, and the grief that I experienced from the loss was overwhelming. It was so raw, it literally took my breath away. I felt numb. I struggled to get through the day. I didn't know how to process it. It was there every day. You wake up and it's there. I needed a place to figure out what to do with it. I found the grief support group here at the Casa. I started coming to the group, and it was kind of frightening at first. I noticed that when I would arrive to the group, I started feeling a sense of peace and healing and love. So I started arriving early, and I would spend time in the meditation chapel, was walked in the healing garden, and I would light candles in the vestibule for Hannah. Throughout this whole journey, I felt my daughter's presence guiding me. A lot of people don't come out on the other side. I believe it's only through God's healing, and for me, it was the people here at the Casa.
This place has helped transform me, hopefully, to a better friar, a better person. And I'm just very proud and happy that, that God gave me this opportunity.
I was in school, actually, to become a counselor. Little did I know at that time that I was going to be able to use the loss and turn it into something positive that I could give back to the community.
The Casa, to me, and I started to say my second home, but it's not. It's my spiritual home. It's like my blood, it just cannot be separated from my life.
There are a lot of things that happen in my life, and positive as well as negative. But I think coming here was the most positive thing that could have ever happened to me in my life.
Family members have been at different places at different times, but this is always a place we can come home to.
Casa is home.
Strangers come and we welcome them. And I think that's very evident in the way so many people come here week after week and day after day.
This repeating kind of cycle is that the more that we lift one another up, they're able to go out into the world and to lift others up. And I think that is the legacy of what we're able to do here at the Casa.